Hey, I am Neil Kristianson, CEO of the Contractor Fight, and welcome to this edition of the Contractor Fight podcast / vodcast, whatever we're doing here today. I have with me in the room today Mr. Tim Cutroni, which you might know if you listen to the podcast. So we'll get to you in a moment.
Cool.
But I'm going to start with Mr. Aaron Harshaw, because have you been on the podcast before?
Tim is Tom has interviewed me.
Tom Reber?
You
know Tom Reber?
The Tom Reber has interviewed me one time.
Okay, so you were on the podcast.
Episode 667, if you're taking notes.
And you have it memorized. All right, well, let's start. Who is Aaron Harshaw, and what do you do?
I'm a general contractor, to put it short, but we specialize in turning sucky to sexy inside people's homes.
Is that on your business card?
It should be. It should be on the business cards. Kitchens, baths, basements, and custom composite decks.
And you are in
Kansas, just south of Kansas City.
And you are also a Contractor Fight.
I'm a Contractor Fight coach.
There you go.
I love my surrogate job that I get to serve in.
And next to you, Mr. Tim Cutroni.
Uncle Tim Cutroni.
Yeah, you probably know if you listen to the podcast every Saturday.
Yep.
But we taken him out of his element today. So, Tim, you are
I'm a celebrity. I'm on camera. First of all, usually I'm hidden behind. My name's Tim Cutroni. I'm a sales coach here in the Contractor Fight. Yeah. Additionally to that, I'm co-owner of a pond and water feature company in Massachusetts called New England Aquatic Landscaping, along with my son, who's my business partner.
There you go. Yeah. So I've asked you guys here today because we want to talk about, what's happening right now, fall 2024 in our industry. And you guys, you're out and about all the time. You're talking to our members constantly. So I figure you guys got your ear to the ground better than I do. So we've asked you here to, just kick that around. For starters, I'll go to you, Tim, first. How's the business doing this year? Your business, pond business, compared to years past? How are things looking?
If I was to talk numbers, they're probably about the same, like the year to date, maybe a little bit above. But seeing the projection of what's happening for the rest of the year, and for us, that would be like, so we're in September, October, and then November. November is when we shut down. I need to sell my ass off for 3 more months.
Yeah.
Back last year, just order takers, people calling, just closing jobs out, sending contracts out, simple breaking sticks, and I'd be setting myself up for next spring already having jobs on them. But it's not like that, so it requires a lot more hunting.
In addition to the hunting, does it require a lot more sales skills this year?
It's just ridiculous. These relationships that we've been coaching for to create with other tradespeople, other landscapers who don't specialize in what we do, the 4 years of nurturing I've been doing with these other tradespeople are now paying off. So I have these people reaching out for projects where we've gained trust over these 4 years, and that's going to get me through to where I need to go through to next year.
So what I'm hearing is it's slowed down a little. It's gotten a little more competitive, but you've laid the groundwork over years that's going to get you through virtually at the same place you were last year.
I agree with everything except for one thing. The competitiveness really isn't a factor for me, because that's the level I'm at. I'm not competing with anybody because nobody's like what I do. I'm different, right? I'm not the same as everybody else. So that puts me above them when people make the buying decision. It's just the difference right now is just the buying habits have changed. People are not just spending money throwing it at us as they were, post-COVID.
Right. The COVID high is over. Aaron, you seeing the same thing this year in your business?
It was shocking to me that we were in a project in January that we sold for a large renovation north of 100,000. Can I say this on camera? I did not sell a project the rest of Q1 or Q2 that was north of $2,000.
Wow.
It was very scary for a period of time, whether that was industry, whether that was, but Tim mentioned buying habits. I really couldn't put my finger on it, but in talking to those local contractors in my area, none of whom are members of BATTLEGROUND, they were really saying the same thing about that. Q3 and looking ahead is really picking up.
So you're seeing the phone start to
We're
ring
actually
again
booked
and-
into January of 2025 right now with projects.
Okay.
But we'll circle back.
How does that
I
compare
think
to
we'll
last
circle
year?
back. Now, last year was more consistent with projects kind of throughout the year, selling throughout the year. We've never now starting our 6th year in business, September 1st, we've never had a sales dry spell like that. We look for these anchor projects that are north of 75, and there were none for almost 5.5 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
And as you're out and about in your communities, we'll go back to you, Tim. As you're out and about in the community, talking to other contractors, are you hearing similar stories?
I'm hearing like the sky's falling.
So much worse than what you're experiencing is what you hear?
Yeah, because you know what? I like to say, because I don't drink the Kool-Aid or what everybody else is saying, I refuse to think that the election or politics are going to have any control over what I'm going to make for a living. I just refuse it. And what
Amen.
what they do is they're feeding off each other in these small business groups that the sky's falling, oh, how horrible it is, and I can't afford this guy, and they're laying people off. It's like, I'm growing. I refuse to go back to the way we used to.
Yeah.
That's not me.
Yeah.
What
Right.
you heard was a mindset.
Right. Definitely.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Are you seeing the same mindset in your community?
Yes.
Yeah.
When you compare those who are within the battleground community that hears the type of mindset that's matched with the actions, the actionable actions. We had one of our trade partners who is our siding guy who does all of our external siding. He said to me not 2 months ago, I'm not sure I'm going to be in business in December.
Yeah.
It's that bad. His words.
Yeah. Wow. You said mindset. What's the difference you see in the mindset between these people you're meeting out in your communities versus people inside our fight communities? The members in our battleground group, people that have been around the fight. What's the difference you see?
I would pin it on the direction of your influence. Are the circumstances going to affect externally how you behave, how you act, what your actions are going to be? Or are you going to dictate from internally what your actions are going to be? What we're seeing, what I feel like I'm seeing on the outside is what Tim was addressing earlier, all of the myriads of external circumstances, the election, the economy, buying habits of marketing not working or whatever, all those external things versus I'm going to dictate because I am in charge of what's going to happen in our business.
Tim, agree?
Yeah, I want to just jump off what Aaron's had said was, you can lay in bed at night thinking about, I don't have enough work in the pipeline, or I'm having all these problems, or I don't have anything in the bank. And you'd be afraid of that. And that's what it is. People are afraid. They're afraid to make the changes. But and I'm just going to go back to the battleground, and the members we have is they know they sell unafraid, that they have these things, and they planted the seed of a tree in the past. So they know they have money. They have, like I say, these influences that people I've made relationships with. I know my pipeline will be full. So I'm not afraid. And I know that when I'm getting in front of people, it's just a relationship. I'm not afraid. If they want to think about it, I'm okay with that. Because I know I'm playing the long game, and I'm patient because I have money in the bank, because I'll wait.
Yeah. What about someone who hasn't planted the seeds? Is there no hope for them? Like if someone were to join our battleground community today, and you got a hold of them, like you guys do, give them the bear. Aaron will give you the bear hug when you join. So if Aaron gets a hold of them and we start helping them, is there no hope for them? If they haven't planted a seed? Tell me no. Please tell me no.
We don't throw people away.
Right.
It's not a
Or I should say, tell me, Neil, there's always hope.
Look, there's always something. I mean, there's resources. You don't have to. You can sell unafraid and not have money in the bank. Yeah, there's always hopes to figure things. I mean, I can say time and time again, hundreds of contractors we've helped. So the answer is no. We don't throw people away.
So circling back to the comment that I made in that dry spell, right? I used the word scary. It was scary because it was uncharted territory for me. I had never had such a duration of little piddly things without a large project sold. Scary, but I wasn't worried. And I wasn't worried was because I've been in Battleground for 3 years now and have been implementing along the way. And though my wife, Sherry, whom, said to me at one time, she said, should you maybe think about
Don't say the J word.
going to get a job with somebody else, right? I said, baby, here's what I know. Here's what I know. This is uncharted territory, but I'm not worried. We are going to be not just okay. We're going to be great. Just wait. We continue to pound. It sounds cliche, but we use it inside Battleground. Pound the stone. Show up another day. Just another day. Continue to do the right things rightly with the right people, and there is an inevitable conclusion to that.
Yep.
You just don't know when that's going to happen. And for us, it started ramping up in July.
Yeah, I was going to say, you didn't just wait. You did something about it. Yeah. You said just wait, but no, you weren't waiting. You were taking action that whole time.
I was like a duck. You ever see a duck?
Yes.
They're cool, calm, and collected on the surface. But under the ground, they're moving 90 to nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's always moving.
So, considering what we've heard here, about what you guys are seeing out in the world, what piece of advice would you give a contractor here in the fall of 2024, other than joining our programs, which, hey, you can always join our program. That'd be great. But other than that, if they can't do that, don't want to do that, what piece of advice could they take today to help them with this sales malaise? I don't know what we call this thing that we got going on right now. Because,
Can I go? Right. I feel that what's going on in their life as far as sales has nothing to do with the outside world. It has everything in Tom, that's about the contract fight. This is 6 inches. What's going on if you're unable to join the Battleground because for whatever reasons of commitment, you need help. You can't do it yourself. If you knew you could do it yourself, then why haven't you? You need somebody that's better than you and maybe can think outside the box and offer resources of ideas. And just to go back, like I just went fly fishing last weekend. I've never, ever fly fished. But what do? I hired a guide to show me how to do it.
Yeah.
Because I'd be having this shit tangled up and around my ear and hooked. And
you'd have a new earring.
I would have another piercing. I don't want to go there. But find somebody who knows more than you and follow their lead, somebody that's doing it.
Yeah. Aaron?
That sounds like flash mentoring. If you can't afford to invest in a coaching program,
right,
because you don't know what you don't know, then hopefully there's someone who's 3 or 4 steps ahead of you who would be willing to take a question, sit down with you for 15 minutes and give you their input, their feedback, the roadblocks they've encountered, the pitfalls they've fallen into, so that you don't have to repeat those mistakes. But you don't know what you don't know.
Right. What's some results you've seen some of our members get recently, like some victories you've seen here in this trying year, or whatever we want to label 2024? What's something really cool you've seen that somebody's accomplished this year, even though it's kind of been, a rough year for some people? I'll throw it to either one. You could give a first name, you could give initials, I don't care. You don't have to give out full names because we haven't asked them. So
yeah, I don't live in the BG rich East Coast where it seems like there's a boatload of Battleground members.
Yeah.
But we're on the East Coast,
yeah.
Right? I live in Kansas. There aren't a lot. There is a Battleground member in Kansas by the name of Josh, and Josh and I have sat down a couple of times. We are still clamoring for a project where we can tag team together.
Yeah.
He's a magnificent framer. He does a lot of things. One thing that I want to brag on Josh as a newer Battleground member is his sense of tenacity. He exudes a tenacious spirit. I don't know if Battleground has amplified that. I have a feeling that he was kind of born with that already. But the more that he is absorbing from Battleground, though it has been challenging for him, because it's kind of a, you know, framing is kind of an itch. He's putting himself out there and reaching for other projects to fill the pipeline with a tenacious spirit and an optimism that is contagious.
He's out
I
there.
love that.
He's out there shaking the babies and kissing hands. Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Nice. That's so wrong.
You should try sometime. It's fun. You should. It's good.
No, I guess there's three things that's rolling around in my head and three different levels of that answer. One is I was just approached 20 minutes ago. It's a Battleground member who told me they sold a console for $1,700. Here's a guy who was charging a fraction of what I charged for my services only months ago.
Yeah.
And it isn't because I said, hey, say these words to a client next time and it will work. It's just he believes in himself. He started believing that this will work for wherever I live.
Yeah. I'm going to guess he's never charged for a console before.
No.
And he got $1,700.
And, you know, yeah, and he said he was quiet for like 4 minutes while the husband and wife were talking back and forth on a phone together. I'm like, he was quiet. He was quiet.
Those are a terrifying 4 minutes, aren't they? Yeah.
And the second one would be somebody who came and told me that there was like a total shit show of a business 2 years ago and came to me and told me they're millionaires. I'm like, oh my God.
You're a millionaire?
Wow.
It's like, and he's quiet. Like, I don't want people to know. It's like, no, tell everybody this is what I did. And a third level, you know, third person that really hits home is like, my wife and I are working things out.
Oh.
It's like, they learn how to communicate.
Yeah.
Coaching is not about just money.
Yeah.
It's about communication, and hearing that result it really hits home with me. Because I don't want to go on a spiel about how awesome Battleground is, but we're saving lives and marriages.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a total unintended, I hate to use the word consequence, but I don't know what it was serendipitous. Is that a thing? It's a byproduct, unintended byproduct of all the coaching we do, is we hear so many stories about marriages, about mental stress that has been lifted. Just finding their people has been is just huge. Without community, we are in trouble as a species.
It's lonely.
To have
It is lonely.
and definitely when you're a business owner, it's even more lonely. So we're about to end this podcast, and we're about to end 2024. We're coming into the end. 2025. What are you guys thinking going into 2025? Like, what's your attack plan for 25?
Do you want to go?
No, I'll let you go.
So for our, I feel like we're a younger renovation company. Yeah. We're beginning our 6th year this month. I'm excited for 2025 because I can look back just 5 years ago, pre-Battleground, flying by the seat of my pants, and I can see how far I've come. Yep. I'm excited to take everything that is currently in our mix and add to it in the future, because this is good. Let's sprinkle some additional salt on it. What does that mean? We're amplifying our marketing in different ways. We are continuing to get better on pre-job costing, mid-job costing, and post-job costing so that the metrics can tell us where we need to be investing our dollars in that marketing. Our job sizes are growing. We just had a client reach out for a whole home renovation outside and inside. It's going to be north of $300,000. I did something the very first time I've never done. I sold a pre-construction agreement just 24 hours ago for $14,800. That's not part of that construction phase.
Yeah.
Never done that before.
How'd that feel?
So yes, I'm excited. Absolutely. And a moment ago when I said you don't know what you don't know, people think, man, I've got an empty bucket of that knowledge goes in. 3 years ago, I didn't even have a bucket. I have a bucket. So Battleground gave me a bucket and then has continued to fill that bucket with people, information, and a community that is supportive during those times that are unique in the industry. Yeah.
It's good for you, brother. Good for you.
Tim, what are you doing 25?
Let me tell you, because I want to humanize this a little bit. I know we're speaking and like you were coaches and we got a great business, but it's not always awesome. Earlier this year, we had a surprise in our business. Our season runs till Thanksgiving and starts up again like April, end of March, early April. Beginning of our season, I lost most of my company. My employees. I only had one employee left. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I have money in the bank. People prepay for their services and their contracts for the year. I had one employee. Surprise.
Scramble.
Yeah. Tried to find help.
Yeah.
I found people, and I knew they weren't going to be efficient. And like you talk about a building year in sports, you're having a new team. That's what we did. And I'm dollar for dollar right now with my business. Now these people who have been with me, these people we've trained up and poured into, next year is not a building year. So I'm saying 2025 is a year we just beat any record we ever had as far as building a culture, as far as building more clients and making a whole bunch more money and making an impact. So that's what I'm excited for the future of 2025.
Yeah. Well, that is cool. And, speaking for the contractor fight, I mean, I'm excited about 2025 too, because we've got some new programs we're going to be releasing here in the fall.
Yeah.
We got some new programs that we're going to be releasing. We got some new courses we're going to be releasing in 2025. It's just, and this has kind of been a building year for us in the background. So we've got a team we're rolling into 25. I'm excited about that too. And I'm excited that a lot of these issues you talked about that I won't name will be behind us in November. So we can, get that behind us and move on. No matter what happens, we'll know. And 2025 is going to be a much better year, I think, because that's going to be settled. So, all right.
The best is yet to come.
Yes, it is, baby. All right. Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Aaron, for joining me here today.
Thanks for having us, Neil.
Thank you for watching. Come back and see us again here at Contractor Fight. We're out.